My guest right now can split the defense, but can no longer go through airport metal detectors. It's my extreme pleasure to welcome the captain of the Penguins and the best player in hockey. He is Sidney Crosby. Sid, it's great to have you. So, a few titanium plates, and I guess you're as good as new, right? Talk about the work you had done.
I think they put 9 screws and 2 plates in there, so they said that wasn't the worst they've ever seen and wasn't the easiest, but everything's gone well so far, and looking forward to getting back out there shortly.
Well, what's the fallout as the playoffs arrive? How's your weight, your strength, your conditioning, all that stuff?
It's been good. I think, I tried my best over that time to kind of take care of myself with shakes and stuff like that as much as I could, but I'm eating a lot more now, and my weight's pretty much where it normally is, and everything's healed, and I'm able to take a hit without causing any further damage. So just kind of waiting for the word from him, and it's something that it's kind of out of my hands. So hopefully everything's healing well and get the okay from him.
You're a positive guy, and you always have been. But for God's sake, Sid, all these injuries, do you think you need an exorcism or something like that?
The two major ones, I look back, I don't think there's anything I could have really done differently. So just some bad bounces, but that's how it goes. Hopefully, I'm done with those and can play a lot more games. But when I look back, I don't think there's anything I could have really done to kind of change the outcome of those things.
How good is this team now? I know you're not going to use the word unbeatable, but a lot of people certainly are.
Yeah, I think that we definitely have a lot of important parts that make a winning team, and I think we've probably been talked about similarly before, but haven't got the results we wanted, so I don't think we're getting too far ahead of ourselves by what others are saying, but I think we're definitely confident. I think we feel like we've been tested, we've played well against good teams, and the guys we brought in at the deadline have definitely helped our team, and I think that we have a lot of character, and we've shown it over the course of the year, so there's definitely a certain level of confidence that we have.
Yeah, I really like the character. Not that you guys didn't have it before the deals, but you added a lot of guys who just won't flinch, didn't you?
Yeah, we added guys who, play a pretty hard game and are tough to play against and compete every shift, and I think those are all things that, we pride ourselves on as a team, so, they've fit in great, and I think that to bring that many guys in, I think there's always, kind of a worry of how that's going to be, but when you bring in the type of players that we did, with their personalities and the way our team is, I think the transition really couldn't have been any better.
Does it matter who you play with? You've had a lot of line mates during your time here. You've played pretty good with everybody. What's your preference?
Well, I think I'm the most comfortable with Duper and Cooney. I think that, those are the two guys I probably played with the most, so I think if kind of talking about my comfort level, I'd say with those guys, but I think we've shown as a team that, we can play with different combinations and still get the results we want, so we've kind of been forced into that based on different injuries and having to go through different things, so I think everyone understands what their role is, and no matter who they're playing with, I think they try to bring that, so I don't think anybody really looks into that too much. Just want to make sure that they're doing their job.
What's happened with Duper these past 2 seasons, Sid? It's not often guys start having career seasons at age 32.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's probably a combination of things. I think part of it is just how well he takes care of himself, and I think his off ice and how hard he works in the summer has a lot to do with it. He's a great skater, so I think he's always going to be capable of kind of being in plays and creating things with his speed, but I think he's just continuing to learn. I think that he's always kind of looked at as an energy guy and a penalty killer, and I think over the last couple of years he's learned things and continued to develop, and I think that he's a good example for any hockey player. I think that he can always learn and adjust, and he's a great example of that.
Talk about Jerome McGinley a bit. You played with him in the Olympics. I knew this guy was good, but when you see him as often as we've seen him since he's been in Pittsburgh, the intensity is just incredible.
Yeah, he competes. He's solid. Both ends of the ice. He just really works hard every shift, and when you do that, you're going to create opportunities. And when you've got a shot like his, you don't need much time or space to score goals. And there's a reason why he's got so many. And I think he brings a lot of qualities to our team that are important.
I really like him on the power play as well. He just hammers the puck, and maybe that's something you guys needed, right?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some guys who can shoot, but adding another guy there that teams are going to have to worry about, I think, never hurts. And I think when you look at the power play, and you see kind of Tanger in the middle with his shot, and again on the side there, you see guys like Ovechkin and Stamkos are kind of in that similar area that get a lot of goals from there, and he's kind of been positioned there a lot too and generated a lot there. So just one more guy that teams are going to have to worry about, and hopefully maybe either he'll score or open something else for someone else.
We're talking to Penguins captain Sidney Crosby here on the home of the Penguins, 105.9. Sid, is the potential there for this to be the best team since you've been here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many games we had won in a row previously. I think the biggest streak we went on maybe was 10 or 12, but to go on the streak we went on this year and to add the guys we added, we definitely have a lot of depth, and even the younger guys who have stepped in, they've got in a pretty good chunk of games, and they've really, you can see they've really come along throughout the year too. So, I would say it's up there, and hopefully it's something we can look back on and with great memories of this team. But we still have a lot of work to do.
Is this Stanley Cup or bust? I know it's good pressure, but is the pressure on?
Yeah, I think there's pressure, but I think there was pressure last year and the year before that and the year before that. So, I don't feel like there's any added pressure. I think that it's always there, and I think as a hockey player, that's what you want. You want to play somewhere where people care about your team, and there's expectations, and obviously as a hockey player, you want to win. So we've been given every opportunity to do that, and it's up to us to go out and find a way.
The Islanders remind me a bit of you guys back in 2007. Talk about that and about what you guys learned your very first time in the playoffs.
Yeah, there are some similarities. I mean, they're a younger team, and they definitely can score goals. Their offense is a big part of their team. They seem like their power play and their offensive game really kind of fuels their team. So there are some similarities there, and I think that they're a team that we have to be aware of their offensive play and make sure that we don't give them a lot of momentum. But I think as far as looking back on our first playoff, I remember being in Ottawa, and it's a different season, and it's a different style. It's more intense, it's faster. Every play means something, so everything kind of gets ratcheted up, and that's something that we learned.
You guys have had an incredible defensive mindset in the second half of the season. Against a team like the Islanders, who, like you mentioned, can score goals, that's something you really want to hold on to, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And honestly, I think we had a defensive mindset since, I think, day one at camp. But it definitely took time to kind of establish that and make it a habit. But we've definitely come a long way, and I think that come playoff time, you're going to have to win tight checking games and low-scoring games, and that's something that we hope is a habit that pays off here with playing against them. And like you said, their team is to score goals, so we want to limit their chances.
Everybody wants to debate MVP. Me too. I think you should get it, but there's a debate out there. But I don't think you even lose a second sleep over that, do you?
I can't control it, to be honest with you. I can't control any of that, so. I think it's something that is brought up once in a while, but it's not something, like you said, that I'm losing any sleep over, and kind of leave that for other people to decide.
How's the face shield?
Feels good. I've been practicing with the team here the last 3 or 4 days, so it's been good. I haven't no really complaints, and it feels good to kind of get in a full practice and get timing and things like that back. It's a little different skating on your own. So
now you won't take the shield off to fight anybody this time, will you?
What's that?
Remember you took the face mask off with Savard. You won't take off the shield to fight anybody, right?
No, that's not in the plans. But we'll see. I don't know exactly how long I'd have to wear that. So, but it's definitely something that I'm going to need.
Now, when you've been out and come back, you've always gotten back into the groove pretty quickly. Why do you think that is?
It's a good question. I think, I've just tried to prepare as best I could, and you try to cover kind of all grounds as far as when you come back, and any little adjustments or any specific things that are kind of big things, and getting your timing back or getting back out there. So just trying to kind of cover all those details as best as I can, and I've been fortunate. I've been able to come back and feel fairly comfortable right away. But I think coming back in the playoffs is a little bit different. I think the style, like I said, the speed is ratcheted up a bit. So it'll be a challenge, but it's playoff hockey, and that's what you want to be playing.
You visualize a lot, don't you? You think a lot about what you would do and what you're going to do, even when you're not playing, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think when I'm watching games, I think that you always try to kind of put yourself in the shoes of the guy with the puck and try to figure out what's there, what options are there, and it's always way easier when you're watching. Obviously, it's a lot slower and it seems like there's a lot more open ice, but when you're out there, things are happening a lot faster, and it doesn't feel that way. So if you're out, you got to try to find some way to get something out of it. So I guess, I think in a way I try to do the best I can to learn something.
Now, knowing you, when you got hit in the face with the puck, the first thing you thought of besides the pain was, my mom is going to be real upset. Your dad's a hockey player, but how'd Mom deal with all this?
Oh, she was good. They were good. You know what? They just thought I lost a couple teeth. So they thought, I popped up pretty quick, so I think they weren't too worried, and there wasn't a lot of blood. So right away, they were pretty good. My dad was at the game, and but they handled it well. I mean, that's I guess that's a lot of years of experience being a hockey parent that came into play there. But I don't think it's ever easy to see that, but they definitely handled it well.
Sid, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for your time. This really is the best time of year, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we're excited to go, and appreciate you having me.
Thanks again. I'll see you Wednesday night.
Okay, sounds good.
That's the great Sidney Crosby. I'm the pretty great, but not nearly as great, Mark Madden. 105.9 The X.